90.9 WBUR and WBUR.org. I'm Bob Oak, spending this hour with the Republican candidates for governor of Massachusetts. With us today are both Charlie Baker and Mark Fisher. Drugs, guns, public safety. Both of you, do you own a gun, or have you owned a gun in the past, Mark Fisher?
I built my own shotgun. I owned it. I shot it. I sold it in a private sale.
Charlie Baker?
I do not own a gun.
Why?
Never needed to. I mean, never needed to.
Mark Fisher, do you consider yourself, even though you built the shotgun, you sold it, do you consider yourself a gun owner?
No, I don't own a gun. That's a pretty... But I side with them. The Second Amendment. Here's the thing. When I went to get my FID card many years ago, I counted the number of laws, any one of which you broke would prohibit you from being a legal, law-abiding gun owner in Massachusetts. The moral of the story is this, Bob. If you want a good neighbor, find yourself a law-abiding gun owner, because they have to be squeaky clean. The police chiefs, the local police chiefs, have already vetted them.
If you were governor, would you sign the package of laws that the governor is going to sign today, tightening Massachusetts gun laws?
No, absolutely not. We don't need stricter gun laws here in Massachusetts. What we do need are laws that address government incompetence, through which more people have been injured and have been killed through government incompetence at DCF, the drug lab scandal, the compounding pharmacy. Let's solve those problems and help real people, as opposed to creating a problem with legal gun owners and legislators patting themselves on the back and telling their constituents that they're doing something for them.
Well, what's wrong with the gun package specifically?
Well, I'll tell you something. There's one good thing in there. Up until this package is going to be signed today, Massachusetts was the only state that required an FID card to purchase and own pepper spray. My mom is 83 years old. She has pepper spray. I'm glad to see that Massachusetts is not going after little old ladies now because they own pepper spray.
Charlie Baker on the gun package the governor signing today?
I had three major sort of wish list items when the gun debate began. The first was that Massachusetts would connect on its background check process to the mental health registry, which I think everybody agrees would be a great idea. And by the way, most gun owners support as well. The second was that we would enhance the penalties for crimes committed with a gun, which is also in the package. And the third was that we would finally get serious about dealing with illegal gun trafficking, which historically has never really been the purview of the federal government or the state government or local government. And most studies will show you that a lot of the violent crime that takes place, especially in some of our cities, is conducted by people who are using guns that are not registered or licensed. And not having sort of a major effort in dealing with illegal gun trafficking has been a huge missing link in our gun policy generally, and all three of those components are in the bill. By the way, the pepper spray piece is in there too, which I also support. So I'm actually glad that we finally dealt with what I consider to be three of the major issues that we all face, and the fact that you have the gun safety people and the gun owners folks, for the most part, reasonably content with this legislation, I think is a good thing, and I would sign it.
Gun rights advocates have consistently over the years been critical of giving local police chiefs the power to determine who should get a gun license in their town, which they say can be pretty arbitrary in certain instances. Under the package, the chiefs not only retain that right, but they also get the right to more strictly determine who gets a long gun or a shotgun. Should that be altered in some way?
I actually think the compromise that the legislature came up with on part two of that, which involved the shotguns and the long arms, was actually a pretty artistic idea, which is they basically put the burden of proof on the police chief to make the case to a court that there was a reason to deny somebody access to a long arm permit. And I think that in many ways was a pretty interesting way of solving that problem.
Mark Fisher.
Bob, I was at a rally against the bill at the steps of the State House, and I wore a pin. And the pin didn't say modify the bill. It didn't say change the bill. It said kill the bill. Kill the bill. We have some of the strictest gun laws in the country here in Massachusetts. We don't need stricter ones. We need to go after those areas, like I said, government incompetence in DCF, the compounding pharmacy, and the drug lab, where people have actually been killed through government competence and injured. There's where the legislature should be spending its time in enforcing the law and creating new bills to protect those people, not against legal gun owners.
Medical marijuana, how well do you believe, Mark Fisher, the state is doing right